You know, who said that cycling was for only those that are well off? I'm not going to fall into that stereotype. And I refuse to follow those rules that are set by I don't know who. But, anyways, guys, check this out. This is how I prepare for my ride, and I'm going to come back and talk to you about this. Hey, guys. I'm going to be going on my bike ride. Just took Sharon to work, so I'm here at the church. Not sure how many miles I'll be doing, either 10 or 15, maybe more. I don't know. But just wanted to real quick, just before a ride, this is my personal habit. Not everybody does this. I always check my tire pressure before every single ride because even if it's 5 pounds low, because each carry 120 pounds, even 5 pounds low is going to make my tires a little squishy. And because I'm heavy, that's going to cause more resistance. I don't want resistance. I want to be able to go as smooth and as fast as I possibly can without low tires. So the brand of pump I have, it's a good brand. It's called Surface. And yeah, it's very accurate. Anyways, some of my gear I wear. Let's start off with shoes. These are my cycling shoes. Look, I clip in. They clip into the pedals. See that metal piece? Clips into the pedals. Bam. Next piece of gear is my shorts, my cycling shorts. These are cushioned. I feel uncomfortable if I'd wear these just alone, so I put some basketball shorts over them. But that way I still have the cushion for the seat comfort, you know. And then I have a dry fit underneath. That way as I'm sweating, it's drying. I have another dry fit over it with Soul Riders. Gloves, cushion for my palms. I had this custom made. It's a sweatband, Soul Riders. This saves me all the time. I sweat a lot, and if that sweat starts going down my forehead into my eyes, it burns, man. And that's kind of if I'm trying to get that sweat out of my eyes and I hit I could hit a pothole or something. So this, very helpful, guys. Got my helmet. It's getting a little scratched up, but might be time for a new one soon. And finally, my prescription glasses, they're Oakley's. These are prescription. And then I got my little headset. I just put one in my ear so I can listen to stuff. And this is my tool bag. I used to have a bag underneath my seat, but now usually I don't use 2 bottles anymore. So look, it replaced one of the bottles. So I have all my tools in there. I'll show you what's in there after the ride. I don't want it to get too late. Other gear. I put everything in a backpack, first of all. That way I have everything together. So I'm ever going to go do a ride, I grab my backpack, rack my bike, ready to go. My clothes, my shoes, everything, including this. So here I have my bike computer, which tells me everything I need to know, whether it has GPS, speed, my heart rate, my distance, my time. This is my heart rate monitor. It goes on my forearm. This is my radar. It goes, I'll show you right now, behind my seat to let me know if there's cars behind me. My front light blinks and my rear light blinks. These are the brightest I could find because I use them in the day even because, trust me, you want to be as safe as possible. But like the bike computer, for instance, this is connected to Strava. And then I put my phone here. Strava is like the Facebook for cyclists. And then you have this is my radar. Sorry guys, the video cut off, but this is the radar. It snaps in the same way, in the same way the computer does. It has a circular thing. So just once it snaps in, it ain't going anywhere. And it's the same thing with this radar. This lets me know when there's cars behind me, at least 2 blocks. How does it let me know? Because on the bike computer, there'll be a green strip. And if there's a car, it'll turn red and it'll show me a little car. Maybe I'll show it to you when I'm on my ride. Anyways, guys, I got to gear up, go on this bike ride before it gets warmer. And then I got some work to do here at the church. So anyways, see you in a bit. Okay, wanted to show you real quick. See, I got my light blinking already. If I feel the tire, it feels great, but look, it's supposed to be 120. Look how low it is. This is what I mean. This is why I check my tire every time. I haven't been able to ride for a few days, so just in those few days, it's lost 22 pounds of air, which would make a big difference in my ride. Now I gotta check the back. Okay, I had to put the phone down, but now it's up to par, 120 pounds. Let's check the back. Here's the back wheel. Look at that. 21 pounds off. So let me air that up. All right, we're back. So now, one more. There it goes. Oh man. I gotta put the phone down, guys. Yeah, I had to do it again. That's what happens when I try to air it up while holding the phone. Let's get my light going. Turn my radar on. Get my computer back on. It turned off. Get my glasses, my one ear pod. All right, turn my computer back on. Front lights going, rear lights going. My radar is on. It's gonna let me know cars are behind me. Got to see, there's a green strip. So I know the radar is working. This green strip will turn red if a car's behind me, and it'll show a little car, and then as soon as it passes me, it turns green again. Before I start, as you can see, look at that heart rate is at 80. That is my heart rate monitor right here. It just goes on my wrist. A lot of the cyclers wear the one that goes across the chest, but I saw really good reviews on this one, and so far, so good. It's at 82, 83. All right, guys, I'm gonna go on my ride. So now that I loaded my route, it lets me know so I don't have to worry while I'm out there where to turn right or left or whatnot, because this is a route that I've never taken. So I do it on the app at home, load it onto my computer. So this is page 1, but if I go to page 2, it goes to elevation, but page 3 turns into GPS. So now if I start writing, I hit start. Actually, I'm gonna hit start. And now it'll direct me and I don't have to worry. I just follow what it tells me. All right, guys. All right. As you can see, the GPS is doing its job. Alright. Made it to the countryside. It's telling me to turn right soon. Without that GPS, I wouldn't have known where to turn, and I would have had to stop and figure it out. That's why I like this bike computer. Alright guys, wanted to show you the difference in heart rate now that I'm moving. I'm 34. So I'm making my way back toward the church down this bike lane. Alright guys, I'm back from my ride. I just changed back to my regular clothes. Whew. I wanted to explain something also that I do that I don't think I've ever said. Let me put my bike over here. My chain by default, because it's oily or grease, not oily, yeah, well, oil, picks up a lot of debris, and that is something that I think gets ignored the most by a lot of new riders. Is it picks up gunk, and after it picks up gunk, it gets in your gears. It just let's see, look at that. So pretty often I degrease it with Simple Green. Spray it with Simple Green, it degreases, takes all that gunk off, all the old oil off. I take my back rim out and clean these out with a rag. I put a rag inside each one and spin it. And I use this. This is the only thing I use for my chain. John Silva, bike mechanic friend, said only use this, and I've listened to him ever since. And I don't pour it. I go, I just kind of put it on all the way through, let it sit for a bit, and with a rag lightly take all the excess off. I do that quite often actually, and it just runs smoother. And I told you I was going to show you what's in my little bag here. Trying to do this with one hand here. Opens up for my glasses, in case I get sweat drops or something on my glasses. I always have this flathead, Phillips. These are to take off the tire in case I get a flat. There's 3 of them in there. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this with one hand and I can't. You'll need these to take the tire off. A little bit of sandpaper in case I got to patch a tube. This, I'm not sure why I have it in there, but that's to take off the valve, to take off that little screw mechanism. I have 2 Allen wrenches that fit almost everything in my bike. In case something goes loose. I'm pretty sure pretty much everything on my bike is one of those. Key to my house. This is really important. If you get a flat, this CO2 will instantly air this thing up fast. Say I replace the tube, instead of pumping it, I put one side there, the other side here, and turn this knob, and it'll go and blow this thing up to full capacity within seconds, and boom, I'm off, instead of sitting there and pumping and pumping and pumping. I have some patches. couple random patches in case I need to fix a tube. I didn't realize I have a third Allen wrench. That shouldn't even be there. Mustard. Trust me, this has helped when I get cramps. You take a shot of a mustard packet, that cramp will go away within a minute, maybe less. And a tube. Not sure why that screws there. And I have one tube. So this is what I carry on me, guys. And so far in all these years, this is all I've needed. And but that's about it. That's about it. I think I knocked out, I did 10 miles today. Did a quick ride. Like I said, I started off a little late. So anyways, see you guys another day. God bless. All right. So now that I came back from my ride, I just wanted to talk about this subject, guys, because, you know, in my generation, I remember growing up and watching Michael Jordan, and I'm not much of a basketball fan. I've been a Michael Jordan fan. And I think a lot of people in my generation can say the same. But before Michael Jordan, maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm not the biggest sports fanatic, but it seemed like all the basketball players had these like really short shorts and stuff. And Michael Jordan just said, you know what? Just because in this sport doesn't mean I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna make my own mark in this sport. He started wearing the longer basketball shorts that everybody wears now. I remember Tiger Woods, same thing. You know, it was basically golf was a rich man's sport. At least it was considered a rich man's sport. I'm not saying Tiger Woods came from the hood or nothing, but obviously he was a half black guy, and all of a sudden, he came in and just changed the face of the sport for the better. If you ask my opinion, same thing. I just recently saw that movie with what is it, Venus Williams and the sister, with Will Smith, that movie he made. I can't remember the name of the movie, but kind of the same thing, and I think those are awesome things, man, because all of these sports, all of these activities, should be enjoyed by anyone, and for far too long, at least when I grew up, it's like, oh, you're a homeboy, so yeah, you can play football, soccer, that's pretty much where it ends. Yeah, you maybe go to a gym and lift some weights, but to be in a swim team, to be a cyclist, to be a golfer, a tennis player, we consider those things that were like as if somehow, some reason, it was out of our league, and here's the thing is that by whose rules? Who set those rules? Who set that? And the worst part of it is, why did we fall in line? And kind of, I was having this conversation with this brother that got a hold of me. He wants to do the cycling challenge, and he's in Southern California, which is awesome because his name's Esteban. He's a cyclist and he wants to do the challenge with us. But what I like the most about it is, Cholo Trucker's going to do it and he's by himself. And I'm not there to teach him. I'm not saying I'm like this professional, but at least I've been riding for years. There's a lot of things I know and learned over time. So anyways, we were talking because he was talking about being from the hood, but I like the way he said it, because he says, you know what, in getting to cycling, a lot of homeboys would say, oh man, you're going to wear this, you're going to dress like those cyclists. Oh man. He goes, well, doesn't a football player wear the proper gear to play football? He goes, isn't it smart to wear the proper gear for cycling? And that made sense, and at the same time, let me put my ringer off. At the same time, we're always going to add our little twist to it, and my thing is that who says that people that grew up in the hood or in the barrio can't be cyclists or can't cycle? Says who? I'm gonna do the things that bring me joy, the things that bring me happiness, the things that bring me peace, and And let's say somebody says, well, man, you know what, you need an expensive bike. Really? I started cycling with a $99 bike from Walmart, and after 6 months, um bike mechanic John Silva, he says, you know what, I didn't know, I thought like a lot of people that grew up in the hood, we think a bike is a bike, don't know the difference. But he kind of explained to me, then basically was like, you know what, um you need to get a nice professional bike from a bike shop, even if it's an intermediate bike. Do you know bikes come in different sizes like clothes? And I was like, what? I always assume all bikes fit everyone. He says, no. He goes, you go in Walmart, there's one size fits all, but you go to a bike shop, there's frame sizes, small, medium, large, extra large, or they go by number sizes. Anyways, he says, listen, maybe you can't afford a $500 bike. And honestly, $500 bike is pretty low. Um, but he says there's a lot of people that want to get into cycling that have money. They buy an expensive bike and then it sits in their garage 2-3 years down the line. They put it up on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or wherever. And sure enough, man, I found a $580 bike for $120. It was a giant Sedona. It was a hybrid. 6 months later, I found myself with a used, to me, an expensive bike, I mean, $120, but it was, over $500 worth. And man, I rode that bike for 4 years. I didn't have a carbon fiber bike. I didn't have an expensive bike, but to me, that was my bike. I love that bike, carry that bike everywhere I went, and whether I don't know how people looked at me or not when I went on bike trails. I didn't care because I wasn't doing it to impress anybody else. I did it for me, and then 4 years after riding that bike, as it started breaking down, because I mean, I I rode it a lot, a few thousand miles. And finally I went to a bike shop uh, and put on layaway the bike I have now. And the Bike Sharon has their carbon fiber bikes. And it took a long time, man, a long time on layaway. And then finally the last stretch to finance it. My mom financed it because I don't have good credit, and just paid the final, and it took a long time, man. But I saw it as an investment, Yeah. Am I gonna spend money on a stereo system which depreciates the second you buy it, or a bike that's giving me longevity of life? It could very well, these miles I've done could very well have added years to my life. I want to, I mean, obviously we can't help it if we get in a car accident or something crazy like that. Our life can be done in an instant. But health wise, I believe I've added years. How do you put a price tag on years to your life, especially if you have children and grandkids and or a spouse and you want to be around there for them, or stepkids or whatever, family, not just children, but just life. Anyways, you know, and somebody might say, well, man, these carbon fiber bikes, how much do they cost? And they could start at 1,400, 2,000. They could go. I mean, the guys in Tour de France, those guys are, I don't know, 20, $30,000 bikes. I mean, but it's not the point, man. The point is this, is that the only way the stereotype of this sport will change is within us. Quit making it seem like as if that sport is beyond your reach. Um, Many of us invest in rims, low profile tires, stereo systems, big screen TVs, surround sounds, uh, Jordan shoes, $200-$300, $400 shoes. And these are, I'm talking about dudes from the hood. Yeah, you might have a little small rundown house, but you'll have the biggest TV on the block, or the nicest rims, or the nicest stereo, or the nicest paint job, and it's like, so you can't say that you can't afford it. It's just that it's what you choose to put your money into or work toward. So I think that somebody from the neighborhood, somebody with a regular job, um, if it's a priority to you, and if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, don't let other people's stereotypes um, put rules on what you can do. Oh, you're from the hood, so you must play football with the homies in the weekend. No, man, I go cycling. And it's like, I'm just trying to, encourage you and empower you, man. And maybe it's not cycling, maybe it's something else. You know, maybe go, if you're in an area where there's snowing. What homeboys or homegirls can't go ski. We can't snowboard. We can't go surfing. A perfect example is when Chola Trucker went to go swim Alcatraz. As far as I know, he was the only minority there. Who's to say? I love the fact that he was breaking those boundaries. Who's to say? Who told us that we can't swim Alcatraz? But Chola Trucker says, you know what? I'm gonna break that stereotype. And it's reasons like that where we respect people, man, that break boundaries. And it's not about taking a sport away from anybody. It's about saying, you know what? I want to be included too. I want to enjoy that too. And I just think that goes as far as everything in life. Ministry. When I got out, what's crazy? It wasn't people outside of the hood or people outside of my race or out of my race that were telling me, oh, you can go now, you can now that you're an ex-con and you're a preacher, you can go back and preach to the prisoners. You know who it was? It was my own people telling me, oh man, now you're gonna, you can have a church and have ex homeboys come in and ex addicts and ex gang members, and you can go back and reach the prisons. And I'm like, how about if I just reach everybody? Why are you stereotyping me? Why do we because in essence, they're stereotyping themselves. They're putting limits on themselves. What, somebody like me can't pastor a church with regular families, with grandmas and grandpas and husbands and wives and white and black and Filipino and um, whatever. No, man. I embrace people that come out of the life that's walk into this building. Yes, I do. But I'm not going to stereotype myself and say that's all I can reach. We can't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You know, and but I think that's very key, very important, guys. And I just wanted to share that with you. This is why things like this, man, that why I wanted to do this channel, because sometimes I want to just share things like this that come to mind, and I think these things help us encourage, and lift us up and help us go to a place that is beyond what we ever thought we could, you know, and but that's pretty much it, man. I just wanted to share my heart on that. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about as far as a challenge, we're doing if I don't know when you're watching this, because you could be watching this years later, but in February of 2023, some of us, a small group of us, are going to do a 6-day bike challenge or cycling challenge from San Francisco to Santa Monica Pier, 450 miles over 6 days, staying at a hotel at every stop. And so if that's something you're interested in, or if you cycle already and you want to be included in that challenge, go to www.houseofrestchurch.com. Go to our website. It has the maps. It has all that. If you still are interested after that, get a hold of us, get a hold of me. And I'll give you even more details, on times, dates, meeting spots, hotels, actual hotels. I don't want to put all that stuff in public, but if it's somebody that's interested, then of course, we want to share that with you, and the more the better. And not only will it make it funner, it's not a race, it's a challenge against 450 miles, not a challenge against each other. but nevertheless, the bigger the group, the safer it is. Also, just being on the road. So, anyways, guys, God bless. Thank you for coming to this channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers so I can go live on my phone because I want to start painting my latest paintings live. I want to do each one live. That way, you get to see it as a blank canvas all the way to the end. As you know, there's 2 galleries that carry my art. I like to sell the original, but I always make limited edition prints of each of my works. So yeah, man, help me build this channel. Let me and subscribe to the channel, and it'll really help. And that way I can start painting. I don't want to start painting until I hit those 1,000 guys. So thank you so much. God bless you. See you later.